What's up, Warriors fans? It's your main man, Max, here with Warriors Latest. As always, like and subscribe, as well as hit that notification button on the top if you like what you hear, as I post new Warriors videos daily. Now, in Dub Nation, we got to be pretty upset today. I woke up this morning to the absolute worst news I could have gotten when it comes to the Warriors. And that is that Al Horford's taking his time deciding between, am I going to retire or should I sign with the Warriors? And all I can do is just shake my head because it is the most frustrating thing imaginable. Mostly because we could have had so many other better players, but instead we wanted to wait on a seasoned vet with championship experience. That's great and all, but you want to know what another seasoned vet looks like? Looks like Brook Lopez. Looks like DeAndre Ayton. Could have gotten both those guys, but because Al Horford fits that overall Warriors mentality, which I understand, he's like, okay, let's wait on him. And now it looks like we missed the bus. And that's the most frustrating thing about taking your time in free agency and being like a praying mantis, waiting for the right time to attack. Sometimes you'll miss great opportunities to make your team better, and you just don't have it anymore. And that's what happened with the Warriors. Now that Al Horford's taking his time, the Warriors need to move on to other things and get their roster set because you can't wait on Horford. Who knows how long that's going to take to make that ultimate decision whether to hang up your shoes or call it another or go into another season and play one more for a title in Golden State. And now that Horford's doing it, they need to go after other players and figure out where they can improve, say, get another smaller center who's not as, talented or has as much pedigree as Al Horford throughout his entire career, but at least offers more upside and more willingness to commit in the short term because we can't wait around for Al Horford to decide, days before training camps, you know what, I'm not going to retire. How about that? And that's like 3 days before training camps, and you're just getting things rolling. Off-season workouts, you don't know where he stands in the off-season. You don't know if he's just off the couch or he's been staying in shape. You never know. Some older guys like to come in and have a training camp, work themselves into shape. The Warriors are on a title run here. They can't wait around for Al Horford to get in shape and maybe in shape halfway through the season. We all see what happens regularly with Luka Doncic. He plays himself into shape and it just does not work. I'm not a fan of that. It's just frustrating to see. But hopefully he makes a good case soon and decides, you know what, maybe one more year to win the title, and I'll add another ring to my finger to go along with, I believe it's this would be his fourth if he wins the title with the Warriors next year. One with the Celtics and two at Florida. I believe two at Florida. It may just be one. Yeah, maybe just one because I'm not sure he was on there for that first title in 06. I know he was on there for that second title in 07, but I'd have to look that up. But speaking of Florida, another Florida product might become available on the free agent market, and the Warriors are considered a dark horse team to sign him. Now, when it comes to Bradley Beal, I'm sort of half and half on it. Yeah, he is a great scorer. He is a great off-the-ball player, but the fact remains, he's still a small guard. If you're 6'4", you're not allowed to play the shooting guard anymore. I'm sorry. If you're 6'4", you are at best a point guard. Now, unless your name is Dwayne Wade and you got hops that'll jump you out of the gym, you're not a shooting guard. Sorry, buddy, you're a point guard. Learn to pass the ball, average at least 8 assists per game. No, you don't get to be a shooting guard. You're not. Yeah, I see he's made a big career out of being a off-ball 2, playing with the Wizards and a little bit with the Suns, but let's be honest. You need to do more in the modern game than score the basket when you're on a great NBA team. Yes, he's done it like the best of us. He probably will have not a first ballot Hall of Fame career, but maybe second or third ballot, considering all the points he's scored and the All-Star appearances, but he's a solid player. Now, his fit with the Warriors, I'm still questionable about because he's a small guard. How do you place him next to Steph Curry? We've seen this happen before. Monta Ellis, Steph Curry, beginning of their careers, just did not work out in the right way. And I just don't see how he fits the Warriors. Yes, he is that shooter who can hit water falling out of a boat. And after the Wolves series, yeah, the team could use a little bit of that. But money says that he wants a starting position, and I don't know if the Warriors can offer that. He just, as a starter, you have to be able to defend. And look, Steph has his issues defending bigger guards. I get that. But they need someone else that can also defend as like those bigger guards too. Bradley Beal is not that guy. And on top of that, I get the feeling he'd come off the bench more often than not. Say, worst case scenario, they sign Jonathan Kuminga to a short-term deal to trade him later on and then bring on Beal, but I just don't see that working out. He is a great player, but just I still don't see how that fits the roster. Now, we've seen guys like Lou Dortz be productive as a two guard at 6'4", but he also has the benefit of playing next to SGA, who's a 6'6" point guard. So that sort of evens things out. So I don't really see Beal coming here. I see him more likely going to the Clippers, playing next to James Harden, where he can get real off-the-ball minutes and not have to really worry about what he's doing. As we look at James Harden, I will give him his props. He deserves it. He's having a bit of a renaissance at this stage of his career where I did not see it coming. He's impressive. I love what I'm seeing from him. He's going to be, if the Clippers get Bradley Beal, they are going to be a real problem for the Warriors this time next year. I guarantee it, especially now that they have John Collins on their lineup and also ruined another potential Jonathan Kuminga trade. So I just don't see him coming to Golden State, even though I do think it would be a good idea if he's able to accept his role, but I'm not 100% certain he will accept his role. He still wants to be a starter. He's still got the talent to be a starter, but it's all about accepting the role. Which kind of brings me to my next point. The Warriors need to start really looking at other options. And I'm not just talking about the guys where it's the guys I love. It's like where it's Johnny Juzang, Amani Bates, Brandon Boston Jr. Not just those guys, even if it is Ben Simmons or Seth Curry, excuse me. I will always get those confused. But it's not only those two. It needs to be, I guess, the guys like Marcus Bagley and Bol, guys who can give you the time of day and really at least give you something in the middle. We've seen Bol and how his play goes, and he's able to stretch the floor. Same goes with Marcus Bagley. Now, more on Bagley's point, he does have an injury history, but I like him. Specifically because he's still that buy low guy, and when given the proper opportunity, he's shown that he can be a double-double player. And that's essential, especially with this Warriors team. They have no big guys right now. Like, their tallest guy is Quentin Post, and he's not the guy they're looking for right now. So the Warriors need to do something about that and bring in guys like that to stretch the floor. And at least it's a small buy center. They're not going to pay a lot for Bagley. They're not going to pay a lot for Bol. And they're at least going to get a guy who can develop into a center that they need. You look at Bol, he's 7'3" and can probably block anybody's shot, or at least alter it at the very least. That's what I like. I mean, that's going to be great for the team, especially when you're going up against guys like Joker, guys like Rudy Gobert, Isaiah Hartenstein, even Ivan Zubac next year. Should AD return to form and the Mavericks return to form with Cooper Flagg, there's another guy. I mean, there are a lot of players that they need to go up against to get through the West. And getting that big guy really locked in is essential, especially early on in the offseason. Which kind of brings me to my bottom line. We're in week 2 of free agency. We got to start making moves. I don't care if it's a big move. I don't care if it's a small move. I don't care if it's a trade. We need to start doing something. The Warriors need to realize that if you just stand pat, the season is going to pass you by. The teams that are going to make the playoffs are going to pass you by without issue. And that's going to be a problem if you want to extend Steph's window or at least capitalize on Steph's window while it's still open. Like I always say, at the end of the 2027 season, the window is closed for good. They are not winning another title. It's time for a full rebuild. And with all the cap space that they have available, they can at least put a competitive team up there. But they're not going to be a championship contender after 2027. So they got to maximize what they have now. And by just moving on from Horford, realizing that Bradley Beal isn't a good fit, and actually looking at targets that can make the team better instead of hoping for maybe some luck of the draw to save them, it's not going to work. They need to, like I said, they need to focus on those guys that can actually help them. And if they focus on those guys that they can help them, they're likely going to win the title next year. And for Warriors Latest, I'm your main man, Max, and as always, go Dubs.